Why didn't I prepare for this?
Good morning. My name is Chris Fox, and I am the brand new prepper. And odds are really high that if you found your way to this video, you're probably similar to me. You decided that you wanted a generator, and that this generator needed to power all your stuff. But you had no idea how that works. You don't know how all your stuff is powered, or how a house is powered, or what do you do? And since we're moving from the age of gas and propane into solar, I was wondering, is it possible for me to do it with just solar? The answer is yes, it is possible. It is really hideously expensive. So if you want to power your entire house with a gas generator, you can do it for, let's say, 900 bucks. And I'll flash up just a model I went and looked up. Keep in mind, I don't have one of these. But one of my best friends in the world does and swears by it and loves it. But it is a combustion engine. It works just like your car. So you need to know how to change the oil, and you've got to give it gas. And you've got to maintain it, and things can break down, a lot of moving parts. Solar has almost no moving parts, and so it is super reliable, lasts a long time, there's no smell, it's silent. So if you're worried about shit hitting the fan, in prepper land, then that can matter to you. And for me, I like the fact that there's no noise and there's no pollution. But $800 versus, are you ready for this? 12,000 bucks is what it cost me to get enough solar not to run my entire house, but just to run my business. So I can run a laser engraver and my power saws and my computer, and I have a big storage freezer, and I've got, the little fridge you see behind me and that printer. So I can run all my stuff, and you can see I've got some battery packs behind me. And actually in the corner there, you can see one of my Bluetti generators. That's the backup generator right there. So I use that primarily for cooking and for recharging power tools. That's a secondary backup. And then I've got the primary stack, which I'll flash up real quick. So you can see I have a much larger stack. So the one in the back there is 2,000 watt hours, and the stack is 7,000 watt hours. So for a combined total of 9,300. That's 9,000 plus I've got 300. This is how I do my tablets, my phone, and any other small devices I might have. I charge right here. This also can do a laptop with no problem. So you can see I'm on full solar now. I did it. I did exactly what you probably want to do, and it cost me $12,000. Is it worth it? It might be. That's a lot of money that almost nobody has. The vast majority of people right now are struggling. I did for most of my life. But my day job is author. You see behind me on the bookshelf there, a lot of those books are mine. I have 40 novels in print. So I happen to have enough capital that I was able to invest in this, and it will pay itself back. Right now, I live in California. There are rebates. So you get 26% of your solar investment back for the panels, and it's still questionable. We're going to see whether or not that'll apply to the batteries. But it looks like I will get at least some solar rebate, hopefully the full 26%. In addition, I'm saving about $150 a month in power. So my power bill, while everybody else's is just skyrocketing, mine actually went the other way and is going down. That's been really cool. Now, we still have to run the rest of the house on it. I don't have a full solar system because I'm a renter. As a renter, I can't just slap some solar panels on my roof and call it a day. I had to build myself a solution that's portable that I could take with me. So I'm going to start flashing that up. You can see that I've got solar carts that I built. These are the second version. And they work with much larger panels. This is the second version. So one of the big mistakes that I made, and you're probably going to fall into this trap if you consider buying panels online, is if you buy a Bluetti, and I love my Bluettis, they're great, the battery packs, you may also be tempted to buy Bluetti solar panels. If you are doing overlanding or camping, that's an awesome idea. They are amazing. They break down really quickly, and they fold out nicely. But that wasn't really what I was after. I wanted to have them out like kind of all day, every day. So I ended up building these rickety solar frames that didn't work very well. They were great as long as there was no wind, and I was super proud. But then they started to topple on a regular basis with alarming regularity. If the wind got too strong, they would fall. And so the panels started getting scratched, which reduces their efficiency. Not a lot. I didn't lose enough power that it really hurt me in any way, but it really bothers me to see that I was getting 900 watts from these panels consistently, and now I'm getting 780. I saw a drop, and I know it's my fault that it happened. There was no reason for me to purchase the Bluetti solar panels unless I want to go camping. It'd be great to have a couple of them. What I should have done is gone with these full-size ones that go on your house. They're about 40 pounds each, so they are kind of hard to move around. But as you can see, I built a cart for it to go on. And the way I've built that cart it will force the weight down on the central point so that this thing is rock solid. We had a storm, it was raining, and these things did not move at all. They just sit there. They're perfect. And I can very quickly just wheel them right up into my house with no problems whatsoever. So like if there ever is a really bad storm or if I'm worried about crime or whatever it is, I can pull them up in the garage and these can all fit in the back of my pickup truck so that when we inevitably move from this place, if we buy a house someday or we just have to move for whatever reason, I can pack it up and take it with me. Now, if you're a renter who lives in an apartment building, it is obviously much harder to do this. But I have a friend, and what he did is he bought himself one of those big 30-foot ladders. He'd never used one before, but we're the land of preppers. You figure stuff out for the first time. Try it. Take an action. Well, he bought this ladder and he put it up against the side of his building, and he hauled 3 of these Blue Eddy solar panels up there and put them on the roof, and then ran a cable down to his apartment and then painted the cable to look like the wall. So it's completely not obvious. If you glance at it, you can see a cable, but it looks like just a network cable going down into his apartment. I'm not suggesting that you can or should do the same thing that he did, but what I am saying is you can find a solution. I've seen people put, solar panels in their driveway. If you've got a house, obviously it is much easier to do this as a renter. If you are a homeowner, you don't need this solution at all, and this is probably not the best video for you. What you can do as a homeowner is radically different. Instead of getting these portable batteries like what I've bought and move them around, you can just have permanently installed solar panels and permanently installed batteries, and you never think about your system again, and it'll be cheaper, much cheaper than what we're paying here. It'll probably still run you $10,000, but your system will probably cover your entire house year round. So you don't have to worry about power anymore when you build something out like that. If I had my own property, there is a YouTube channel. I want to say it's Will Prowse. I probably got that wrong. I'll put it in the comments. He's the first person that I stumbled on YouTube. He does do-it-yourself solar and builds his own batteries and stuff. I wasn't interested in that. That's too much. I didn't need to understand that stuff. All I did was learn how a basic power budget works. So you're figuring out the number of watt hours that you need a day. How many watt hours? And you can look at your power bill is going to tell you that right off the bat. Like, oh, I used 24 watt hours on that day. Then you start looking at your devices, you can figure out what the big power hogs are. So one of the things that I changed, which is an interesting life change, not super related, but kind of, I got rid of my second monitor. It's 120 watts continuously having a second monitor there. And I found not only does that take more power, but it also distracts me. So I was going mostly for focus, but the power budget concern was an option, or was a concern. When I was thinking about this stuff, I didn't have as many batteries. I only had the one that you see sitting back there, so I really had to kind of budget out every watt, and that was why I got rid of it originally. But even now that I've gotten a bunch more batteries and could add it back into the mix and not lose anything, I haven't felt the need to do so. So it's interesting, if you get into the world of solar, you do start figuring out how your devices work, how many watt hours they take, what has a big surge. It's a lot of fun. Like, you can run your microwave easily off these things. I can run an electric grill with no problem. You can run gigantic saws without any issue at all. I mean, these things are amazing, and they're fairly portable. The Blue Eddies that I purchased, they're heavy. The big ones are 62 pounds, I want to say. I'm going off of memory. And I work out a lot, so that's not too intimidating for me, but I still don't enjoy moving them around. The battery packs, though, you'll notice I have a 300 and a 230. A lot of people are immediately like, well, why didn't you buy 2 of the same kind? I wanted one of the big ones for a deeper power supply, but I wanted one of the smaller ones because it's lighter. It's 42 pounds. So if I was going to need to bug out of my house in a hurry, I could grab the main AC200 Max and the 230 battery really quickly and slap them in a car, and I would just leave the 300 behind. Now I've got a bunch of power that I can take on the go. I'll already have the Blue Eddy solar panels loaded in my car, so that was kind of my reasoning there. I know most people would probably go for a uniform solution. Anyway, I've kind of babbled a little bit, but I hope you're picking up from this that solar is very expensive, far more expensive than a standard gas generator, but in a lot of ways, in my opinion, it is more reliable. And it does do exactly what we want it to do. And in my case, it's going to pay for itself, and it looks like, I don't know, if power costs stay about where they're at and I get the rebate, the full rebate, probably 3 to 4 years, which was faster than I thought that it would. So that's pretty cool to know. Anyway, if you do have questions, please ask them in the comments. As I've mentioned, I am the brand new prepper, meaning I'm not coming at this from a place of authority. I'm not, some super wizard who's been doing this for 20 years. I'm just learning stuff and sharing what I know. So feel free to chime in the comments with what you know, and we can learn together. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get back to the prepping, and I will see you soon.